Welcome to 50 tips and tricks for vanilla Minecraft. Now, one thing that I want to say before we begin is that chances are you are going to hear a fact that you already knew. So what I want you to do is count up all of the facts that you were already aware of and put your total down in the comment section. Obviously, if you got 50 out of 50, you are a certified Minecraft pro. But sadly, it probably wasn't worth your time watching this video. The next thing that I want to say is if you think of a tip that I should have included in the video, but I didn't, then of course you can put that down in the comments section as well. But anyway, without further ado, let's start counting down these top 50 tips to do with Minecraft. When in creative mode, you can hold space and shift at the same time to allow you to keep flying, but place blocks on top of GUI blocks such as furnaces, chests, ender chests, etc. If you rename a chest in an anvil and then place it down on the ground, you will see that it has that name up in the top left. Now onto some inventory shortcuts. You can shift click items out of chests to bring them straight down into your inventory, and also if you shift click inside your inventory, you can move it from the hotbar into the main storage and vice versa. If you pick up an item and shift double click on an item of the same type, it will put all items of that type into the chest, and the same thing works for the opposite way round, taking items out of the chest. Very nice and fast. If you pick up a stack of multiple items and hold left click and drag across, you will see that it will distribute evenly between spots in the inventory or GUI that you are using, such as a crafting bench. On the other hand, if you pick up a stack of multiple items and hold right click and drag across, you will see that it puts one item into each spot of the GUI. In creative mode, if you middle click on an item or stack of items, you will see that it duplicates them, meaning that you can easily transfer things into chests without actually losing them in your inventory. While hovering over an item in your inventory, pressing a number on the number pad will put it into that corresponding slot in your hotbar. So here we go, press number 1 and it puts it in slot number 1. When in survival mode, you can actually use the pick block function. Just press the middle click whilst looking at the item that you want to select, and you will see that it goes to the corresponding item in the hotbar. Issue is you actually have to have that item. It doesn't work like it does in creative mode, obviously. Hovering over an item in your inventory and pressing Ctrl Q means that you can chuck out full stacks of items. Using Haste 2 and an Efficiency 5 pickaxe, you can insta-mine stone as well as some other blocks. However, for hardened clay, you only need Haste 1 with an Efficiency 5 pickaxe, meaning that you only need a 1-tier beacon, which obviously means that clearing out large areas of mesobiome really is quite easy. Having a regen beacon means that technically you don't really need to eat. Obviously you do take damage and you can't run anywhere, which means that it's not really good for general use, but if you are using it at a farm, for example an enderman farm, then it is perfect, because it means that we don't have to constantly fill up with food. Oak trees can be planted directly next to one another, which means that you can create very easy to farm tree farms using this mechanic. Compressed ice has the exact same properties as regular ice in the way that it makes items move faster, but it doesn't melt, making it perfect for water streams. When ice melts, it doesn't update, and that means you can get really cool flowing water streams that float up in the air. You can make floating sand by placing it on top of a too high plant, then breaking the plant. See? It doesn't fall. String causes block updates, even if it's not connected to tripwire hooks. That means that you can place a too high plant, sand, and then string, take out the plant, and you will see that if a player walks over this sand, it will fall, and you could put them into lava, or make them fall to their death. Landing on slime blocks whilst holding space means that it will cancel the bounce, but also you won't take any fall damage. Slime blocks can bounce players, turning them into sort of trampolines, which is quite fun. They can also be used to bounce other entities, for example snowballs, potions, and flaming arrows. Videos to those can be found in the description. They can also be used to bounce other entities, for example sand, gravel, and anvils, leading to some really awesome effects, for example SethBling's piston sand wave. Oh, did I also not mention that slime blocks can bounce minecarts and boats? Basically, what I'm trying to say here is that the slime block is definitely the best block in the game. I mean, look at this thing. When placing a torch, any block within 7 blocks of this torch is now completely spawn-proof. That is a pretty good way of keeping your torch placing nice and efficient. You can ender pearl through any block in the game. Just make sure that you've got plenty of health and you chuck enough of them, but here we go. And we are now on top. Well, sort of. This technique allows us to get on top of the nether. Once again, make sure you've got enough health and enough ender pearls, just chuck them through and you can see that we have made it to the top. Speaking of being on top of the nether, there is actually a way to go through the bedrock. First off, you actually have to get up here using the ender pearl technique, then you want to place down 4 of these dark oak wood saplings, bone meal them and you will have yourself a dark oak tree. Then you take out the bottom bunch, place down another 4 and then do the same thing again, and you will see that there is in fact a chance that some of it will grow through the bedrock. As you can see here, we have got ourselves an oak wood that goes right the way down on through, and now we have the hole to get in and out of. You can use a bucket of water to break cobwebs. If you put a silk touch enchantment on shears, you can also pick up cobwebs, allowing you to place them back down as they were. If you place a carpet on top of a fence post, you can jump over it, but other mobs can't, making for a pretty good farm design. You can create a completely air-filled world by going create new world, more world options, super flat, customize, preset, and then deleting all of this stuff and placing 1:0 and you will see that you get an air option. Go done, generate structures off, create new world, then type in this command and it will place down a block of stone, allowing you to work from it. Pressing F3 and H at the same time allows you to see how many uses you have left on a tool that you are using, for example this pickaxe. Typing /help allows you to see all of the commands available to you with multiple pages so that you can scroll on through. If you can't remember a command in a specific set, then you can keep pressing tab and it will scroll through all of the possible ones. If you never want it to be dark again, then you can type in this specific command and it means that the time will not keep turning and it will be at a constant from then on. If you never want it to rain again, then you can type in this command and that means that you won't get any weather for that specific length of time. The massive number next to it is to make sure that it never happens again. Of course, there is absolutely tons of cool stuff that you can do with specific commands, for example turning off fire spread and mob griefing. I would suggest checking it out for yourself. If you want to easily change your game mode, then you can use one of these commands. Game mode C is for game mode creative, game mode S survival, and game mode A for adventure. Alternatively, you could use game mode 0, 1 and 2 for survival, creative and adventure. You can make a mob proof door using different types of fence posts. Just put normal fence posts going round and then your nether post right in the middle. They won't see it as an open way and they won't try and get through. You can make a pretty good one-way door using fence posts and carpets. As I mentioned earlier, mobs don't really recognise carpets as a block they can stand on, so they don't take notice. This also works for hostile mobs, making it fairly useful. You can make flaming arrows by firing them through lava. As you can see, it's working just fine. A good way to place blocks downwards is to use vines. As you can see here, you can click on them, it actually replaces the vine, and that means that you can just continue on your merry way. Despite being in difficulty normal, no mobs are spawning, and that is because this whole world is made of half slabs. This is a non-spawnable block, and there are a bunch of them that mobs can't spawn on. If you do want a full list, then I would suggest checking out Static's Spawn Point series. It really is quite good. Mobs can't spawn in water, so if you're running low on torches, you could fill up this cave with that fine H2O. I don't know, it might be a little bit expensive, but it works. If you wear a pumpkin on your head, Endermen can't see you, or at least they don't get angry. The only issue is that it is quite hard to see, especially when you're trying to find the Ender Dragon, and you don't exactly know where he is. Oh, that hurt. Blaze drop twice as much XP as all other mobs, making them pretty good to use for XP farms. Another fun fact about Blaze is they actually take damage from snowballs, and it's quite powerful actually. As you can see, we've only fired a couple hundred at him, and now he's died. Endermen are 3 blocks tall, so by giving yourself a 2-high roof, you can make yourself a pretty sweet poor man's XP farm. Just by looking around in the end, you will gather up plenty of attention. You can give mobs special effects. If you call a mob Dinnerbone or Grum, then it will spawn in upside down, and if you call a sheep Jeb, then it will spawn in as a rainbow sheep. Now you can achieve this in survival Minecraft by using a name tag just renamed via an anvil. It looks pretty cool, doesn't it? So there we go guys, that is it for today. Those are all the tips and tricks that I have to offer for you. I hope that you have learnt something from today's episode. I do apologise that it has been a little bit longer than usual. I had no idea how long this would take, and I had absolutely no idea how long it would take to record, because this really has been a marathon of a recording session. But anyway, if you did enjoy this video, please be sure to hit that like button, and if you really loved it, then make sure to subscribe. But thanks for watching guys, this has been Mumbo, and I'm out. I'll see you later.